All right, everyone may be seated. Good afternoon and welcome. Thank all of you for coming to our State of the State address with our Honorable Governor Jan Brewer. Today, this is part of a four-part series that the Kingman Area Chamber of Commerce has designed to give the opportunity of our chamber members and the community to get involved more and to be politically and educated and legislatively informed. Last month we had Mayor Salem give the State of the City address, and today is our second part in this series. May 24th, we will have Congressman Gosar here who will be giving us the State of the Union address. Now, if you'll join me in welcoming the Kingman Fire and Police Department's Collective Honor Guard to bring down the colors, please. And would everybody stand? Please all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may all be seated. I was remiss in not introducing myself. I'm Dr. Regina Cobb. I'm the legislative liaison for the Kingman Area Chamber of Commerce. I've been involved in many aspects in the community, so most of you are my friends and people I already know. So before we get to the main attraction, I would like to introduce a few people to you. Our Chamber of Commerce President, Pam Wilkinson, is sitting right next to the governor. And then to her right, and who is going to come up and speak in a few moments, is our president of the Chamber of Commerce, Tony. Tony Campbell. Tony's one of my best friends. I don't know why, I just lost his name for a second there. Tony, you want to come up and address the audience for us before we begin?
I just wanted to take a few minutes and thank everybody for coming today. As Gina said, this is the first in many parts of the Chamber's attempt to bring the community and our businesses in particular closer to government as we work a little bit closer with each other. So the Kingman Area Chamber of Commerce is pleased to have our governor here, Ms. Jan Brewer, to deliver the State of the State address. And this is the first time I think that we've had a governor up here since I've been involved in the Chamber. Is that correct, Pam? But during these challenging economic climate that we have right now as businesses, it's important that you lean on the Chamber and that we step in and help you out with being your voice with government. We worked quite well with our local city government, in the different communities, as well as within the county, and we have the state. Gina's even involved some at the local or at the national level with Mr. Gosar, and We're really proud of that. It's one of the things that we as a Chamber of Commerce have done that's a little bit different than has happened in the past, and we want to get back to that representation of you, our business people, with the different forms of government. It's important that we keep you informed with all branches of government, so when there's issues that are coming up that can affect you in business, we want to be the first line of defense and also the first line of offense to help make sure that we work with the different entities to make sure that things go pro-business and that we continue to grow. We know that you're busy, and I'll keep this short, which is kind of hard for me to do sometimes, but I've got a list of the elected officials that are with us today. We have quite a few of them. Thank you all for coming. So we'll run through, starting with our state representative, Miss Doris Goodale. We have several supervisors in attendance. Mr. Gary Watson, Hildy Angus, Steve Moss. Steve didn't make it. Buster Johnson, nope. Joy Brotherton. County Administrator Mike Hendricks. Is Mike here? Oh, thank you, Mike. Lisa McCabe with the Bullhead City Economic Development. I saw Lisa come in the back. Thank you. Superior Court Judge Charles Gertler. County Treasurer Cindy Cox. County Recorder Carol Meyer. Mohave County Sheriff Tom Sheehan. Thank you, Tom. We have Mike File on here twice, both as school superintendent and Mohave Community College president. Is that correct, Mike? Where are you at? No? Okay. There's two mics? Two Mike Files? Okay, we got a wrong one. So, Michael Kearns. I'm sorry, Mike Kearns. Mr. Michael Kearns from Mohave Community College. And then Roger Jacks, our school superintendent. And then on the local level, we have Mayor John Salem from the great city of Kingman. Vice Mayor Janet Watson. Council Member Aaron Cochran. Council Member Richard Anderson. I don't see Mark Wimpy. Did Council Member Wimpy? Didn't make it yet? Okay, and then from, and Jack Kramer, our retiring city manager. From Lake Havasu, Mayor Mark Nexon. Council Member Donna Brister. And Miss Jenny Koch, also council member in Lake Havasu. Sitting next to Jenny, we also have Lisa Kruger from the Lake Havasu City Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for coming. And then in Bullhead City, we have Mayor Jack. It's usually just Mayor Jack. And Council Member Kathy Bruck. So we'd like to thank everybody for coming. Again, this is the first in a couple parts. I believe our next one will be with our National Representative Paul Gosar. Is that correct, Gina? And again, Ms. Governor, thank you for coming and being here. We really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Mr. Campbell. We are now pleased to honor and be honored to have Doctor. See, I've got doctor on the brain now. I was thinking Dr. Kearns because we didn't say doctor on his either when we were talking about his last name. We are pleased and honored to have Governor Jan Brewer here with us today. On January 21st, 2009, she took oath of office to become Arizona's 22nd governor, taking immediate steps to bring Arizona back from the brink of economic collapse. Governor Brewer's first act was to issue a moratorium on new regulation, and she then implemented her 4 cornerstones of reform. Included a blueprint of education that reaches every student in every classroom in every part of Arizona. In partnership with the legislature, Governor Brewer quickly made the state government smaller and more efficient, including a competitiveness package containing broad-based income and property tax reforms that have improved Arizona's standing as a business-friendly state. The governor then led Arizona Commerce Authority as it helped relocate or expand companies amounting to more than $5.5 billion in capital investments, with the creation of thousands of jobs, a job growth that ranks 7th best in the nation. These achievements mean Arizona will now have a surplus, an extraordinary turnaround, thanks to Governor's strength and vision. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce someone whose steadfast leadership has proven the Arizona comeback is not just a political statement, but a reality, and that we are well prepared for Arizona's second century. The Honorable Janice K. Brewer, Governor of the State of Arizona.
Thank you very, very much. And I don't want any of you leaving here thinking that this is the first time I've been up here, because I have made many trips, many trips, and I'm always so impressed with the facility here. It's just absolutely fabulous. So you have done a good job with that. So let me begin by saying good afternoon, and thank you very much, Dr. Cobb, for those very kind words and your very lovely introduction. I appreciate it. And thank you to everyone that's here today for making me feel so welcome. The Kingman Chamber of Commerce has done an exceptional job of hosting this event, and it's always a pleasure to be up here in Kingman with you. The heart of Route 66, your claim to fame amongst many other things, I know, but we all think of Route 66 as you do. Earlier today, I was honored to dedicate the new tri-state shooting range in Mohave County near Bullhead City. And I must tell you, it was a marvelous opportunity, but it is a marvelous regional amenity, one that will attract sportsmen and women and families from miles around. And I know the people of Mohave County understand and respect our constitutional rights, as I do. So I'm confident this shooting range will be put to good use. Keep them busy. You know, as I travel across our state, I'm reminded of how far we have come since the darkest days of the recession and the work that we still have ahead of us. The turnaround we've seen in both metro and rural Arizona is anything but accidental. Rather, it has been a culmination of hard work and tough decisions. And I'm proud to be joined today by one of your local representatives, Representative Doris Goodale. Stand up and wave. I know they all know you, but... And she's doing a fantastic job down there at the legislature representing all of you. And I've been bumping around long enough. I know the good ones from the bad ones. There are not really any bad ones, but, you know, I know the really good. She's shaking her head. Yeah, there are bad ones. But I can't say that. She can. She's one of them, you know. So, but I recognize your talents, and we do so much appreciate the hard work and time that you put into the efforts for all of your constituents, Doris. And like me, your representatives, they love their communities and the constituents that they serve. Most of all, I think, they love Arizona. Working together, bound by a shared devotion to our state's future, I know we can help make this legislative session our best one yet. During the Arizona Centennial Year of Statehood, we celebrated all the achievements of our state's first 100 years. We were reminded of Arizona's 5 C's: copper, cattle, cotton, citrus, and climate. Well, I'm here to tell you that our second century will hinge on another C: competition. Today, Arizona must compete for the most desirable jobs for our citizens, the finest teachers in our schools, and the most talented students and faculty in our universities. And each of our citizens must likewise compete to earn a living, build a future, raise a family in a safe and healthy environment. You have my solemn pledge to work in good faith with elected legislators in making certain those of us at the Capitol are helping Arizona's families, not hurting them in their efforts. Together, we've made great strides in the last 4 years to improve Arizona's competitive position. We faced the hardest of times, but sustained and strengthened state government through the downturn. Per capita, Arizona has the second lowest number of state employees of all states. We reformed our personnel system so our citizens will have a state workforce motivated by performance and accountability. We passed meaningful reform to improve our education system and expanded school choice. We limited regulations and enacted the largest and the most strategic tax cuts in state history, unlike our friends in Washington, D.C. Thank you. And we even accomplished something novel and rare in politics. We kept our word. In 2010, we asked the people to increase their own taxes and promised them it would be temporary. That promise will be kept when the Proposition 100 sales tax expires May 31st, 2013. Not long ago, we were facing the worst housing collapse in our history. The downturn had cost us more than 300,000 jobs. Our state government was bogged down by a $3 billion deficit. Now, our housing market is on the mend. We're adding jobs at the swiftest clip in years. In fact, Arizona ranked 5th in the nation for job growth during 2012. Thank you. And the Kaufman Index recently declared Arizona the country's premier place for entrepreneurs. We're proud of that. Our budget is now balanced, and we've set aside $450 million in the state's rainy day fund for the next time a crisis strikes. And crime and violence in Arizona continues to trend downward. Arizonans have reduced crime have reduced crime by punishing criminals and not by infringing on the rights of law-abiding gun owners. Yes, our state is getting stronger, and I am confident that Arizona's light of opportunity will shine as bright as the Arizona sun in the years to come. Leaders of this state can have no higher priority than the safety of our children in state care. That's why in 2011, I convened a child safety task force to improve the way in which this state oversees children under its care and investigates cases of abuse and neglect. Many of the panel's recommendations have now been adopted, including the creation of a special unit of law enforcement veterans focused on investigating the worst cases of child abuse and neglect. We've improved operations at Child Protective Services by overhauling the hotline system so the most urgent calls are directed for faster response, by streamlining the hiring process to ensure every available caseworker position is filled, and by cutting paperwork so caseworkers spend more time checking up on children. Despite these efforts, there is no doubt that our system of child safety is under pressure. Arizona's abused and neglected children need help. My executive budget adds 150 CPS caseworkers and boosts foster care, adoption services, and emergency placement of children needing rescue. Because these needs couldn't wait, legislators responded to my call in approving an emergency budget request to hire 50 more caseworkers immediately. And I thank them sincerely, as we all should, for moving so quickly. You know, we cannot strike evil from the hearts of those who would harm an innocent child, but these common sense steps will help at-risk children get the assistance they need before it's too late. These past 4 years, we have tackled hard questions and faced moral challenges. My friends, this too is a moral issue. Arizona must protect her children. Thank you. There's no limit to what we can accomplish when we work in cooperation towards a common goal. Just look at Arizona's economic and fiscal turnaround. It's no surprise that we in Arizona have created a model of recovery very different than that pursued by the administration in Washington, D.C. Where they've spent, we've saved. Where they've hampered the private industry with excessive rules and regulations, we've marshaled the power of the free market. We did this because we know, as President Reagan once said, no power of government is as formidable a force for good as the creativity and entrepreneurial drive of the American people. In the new economy, talent is king, creativity is the new capital, and competition is worldwide. The Arizona Commerce Authority will continue to lead our job attraction efforts. World-class employers like Intel, Amazon, and Silicon Valley Bank have chosen to locate or expand in Arizona, due in part to the fine work of the ACA and the robust business environment that we provide. Just last week, you might have heard, General Motors announced it's bringing 1,000 high-paying jobs to Arizona. But we're not done. While we lower the barriers to business growth, keeping regulations lean and taxes competitive, it's clear we have another problem, our own sales tax system. Sales tax is the most critical source of revenue for core state programs, but our sales tax code is also one of the most complicated in the nation. It's an accountant's dream, but a business owner's nightmare. Arizona's local and state governments have created a tax system with so many twists and turns that we make it difficult for businesses to simply pay what they owe. For business owners, serving customers in multiple cities with multiple license requirements, multiple tax returns, multiple tax bases, and multiple audits, compliance can be nearly impossible. And that's why I formed a special task force of business owners and tax experts. I asked them to offer recommendations on ways that we could simplify our system, and that's exactly what they've done. Now it's time that we adopt these changes, removing one more barrier to economic growth and making Arizona even more competitive. Of course, we can't compete without a world-class transportation system. I want Arizona to be the preferred route for companies shipping goods and products back and forth from Mexico, our state's largest trade partner. So I'm proud that we have worked with the federal government to reconfigure the Mariposa port of entry in Nogales, and we've already got a new commercial port of entry at San Luis, too. This is only half of the equation, of course. It's always just half of the equation. You got to have efficient roads and a network to move those products north through Arizona and to points beyond. And that's where Interstate 11 comes in. Arizona has been hard at work to make this critical project a reality. I-11 will finally link the growing cities of Phoenix and Las Vegas and will play a significant role in creating jobs in the Tri-City region of Kingman, Lake Havasu City, and Bullhead City. Thank you. The Arizona Department of Transportation is undertaking an I-11 corridor study with its Nevada counterpart. That gives us time to increase support for the project, educate the public on the benefits that this trade corridor will bring to Arizona. And it won't be easy. Nothing is easy these days. But I am committed to this project, and I know with the help of those in this room, we will get it done. While we take these important steps to boost our economy, we can't forget the most fundamental and lasting key to Arizona's competitiveness: our schools. To enable our schools to keep pace with global competition, we're raising standards and increasing accountability for students, schools, and teachers. Everyone knows that global competition for jobs has changed. Our schools must keep pace. Our new Common Core standards are benchmarked to the top education measures in the world. If Arizona schools aren't going to do the job, we will know about it, and so will the parents. Of course, it's not enough to install a new curriculum, raise standards, and hope for the best. I am committed to helping schools and teachers make this transition a success. And that brings us to school funding. Whatever your point of view, we should all agree that it's time we start funding the academic results we want to see. What I have proposed is the nation's first comprehensive performance funding plan for our districts and charter schools. This plan will reward schools that earn high marks or see real improvement in their performance. I'm not talking about scrapping attendance-based funding formulas. Rather, this will augment that system with an innovative approach to promoting school performance while maintaining local control. Thank you. Together, collectively, let's just stop simply funding the system that we have and start funding the student achievement that we want. Arizona's future is also tied to another critical decision. It's a decision some would prefer not to face. They would like to wish it away. We cannot. Nor can we simply just wag our finger at the federal government. Trust me, I tried that once. But of course, I'm speaking about Arizona's Medicaid program and expanded coverage in accordance with the Affordable Care Act. Like many of you, I opposed the president's health care plan vigorously. And that's why, after weighing the pros and the cons of the Obamacare health exchange, I opted against it for Arizona's participation. I also led Arizona in joining a coalition of states that sought to block the program in court, and I've taken every opportunity to argue for health reform with less bureaucracy, more patient choice, and fewer costs. Try as we might, the law was upheld by the United States Supreme Court. The president was reelected, and his party controls the United States Senate. In short, the Affordable Care Act isn't going anywhere, at least not for the time being. By agreeing to expand our Medicaid program just slightly beyond what Arizona voters have twice mandated, we will take advantage of the enormous economic benefit, inject $2 billion into our economy in the first year alone, save and create thousands of jobs, and provide health care to hundreds of thousands of low-income Arizonans, our working poor, and protect rural and safety net hospitals from being pushed to the brink by their growing cost in caring for the uninsured. As my friends in rural Arizona know, when a hospital is forced to close its doors in Phoenix, that's a terrible thing. But at least it's one hospital in a city of many. When you do that in a rural community like this, it's much more likely to be the hospital. Remember, there's no B plan. If my Medicaid restoration plan does not pass, the federal authority under which the state of Arizona covers childless adults will expire on January 1st, 2014. That means nearly 60,000 of our friends and neighbors currently receiving care with access would lose coverage, regardless of whether they were undergoing life-saving treatment such as dialysis or chemotherapy. And that's not all. If my plan does not pass, Kingman Regional Medical Center would lose more than $10 million a year worth of access reimbursements for care provided to the uninsured. Havasu Regional would lose over $6 million, and Valley View Medical Center would lose $3.5 million. This would be a terrible financial blow to these critical institutions. It would be made worse because we know these hospitals are still obligated to provide care to the same number of uninsureds walking through their doors. The hospital simply wouldn't be reimbursed for it. Guess who'd be picking up the tab? You and I. I call it the hidden health care tax. It's the amount, the health premiums that are raised, that we all pay insurance on in order to help pay for the care provided to the uninsured. That's how it works, my friends. In Arizona, this amounts to nearly $2,000 per family every year. This expense is costing Arizona families and weighing down Arizona's businesses. With my plan, we will secure a federal revenue stream to cover the cost of the uninsured who already show up at our doctor's offices and emergency rooms. As I weighed this decision, I was troubled by the possibility that a future president and Congress may take steps to reduce federal matching rates, leaving states with a greater share of health costs over time. And I worried that any expansion of Medicaid, no matter the federal subsidies, could result in costs that the state cannot afford. Together with my team, I crafted a plan to address both of these concerns and safeguard Arizona. First, any expansion of our Medicaid program will include a circuit breaker that automatically rolls back enrollment if the federal reimbursement rate decreases. I won't allow Obamacare to become a bait and switch. Second, we will allow hospitals and health providers to assess a fee upon themselves, using that revenue to leverage federal assistance. And this is already done in 47 other states. It's also ongoing in the city of Phoenix and under consideration in other cities across Arizona. With the federal revenue this hospital assessment generates, we can assure that our state general fund bears no cost in expanding Medicaid. This doesn't mean it's free money, of course. We know there is no such thing. I'm as much of a fiscal deficit hawk as anyone in this room. But Arizona's Medicaid program, access, is not the problem. It is, in fact, part of the solution as it is nationally recognized and is the gold standard for cost-effective managed care in the country. Weigh the evidence. Do the math. With the realities facing us, taking advantage of this federal assistance is a strategic way to reduce Medicaid pressure on the state budget. Having said all this, I know passage of my Medicaid plan isn't going to be easy. It's going to take hard work to reach some lawmakers. And today, I ask you, all of you, to join me in this effort. Thank you. Contact your legislator and let them know how important this is to you, your family, and your business. We can do this, but we can only do it together. Arizona's challenges are great, but not greater than our capacity to meet them and meet them together. This is Arizona's legacy. We were the last of the continental states, carved from rugged country, a territorial landscape equally harsh and beautiful. And if Arizona truly intends to compete, we should study the meaning of the word. This may surprise you, but the word compete is of Latin root. It means to strive together. Our forefathers built this state for us with shared purpose and common cause. We can secure the future only through that same spirit. Let us not squander the many blessings we've inherited. Let us not leave a legacy that we're not proud of. Let us leave a legacy of our own as we make the difficult decisions that keep Arizona on the path to prosperity. It is a legacy, I pray, that will be worthy of this wonderful place I love. I am filled with optimism. It's the kind that comes with knowing that our cause is just and our course is true. I know that Arizona's best days are yet to come. God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the great state of Arizona. Thank you. Thank you. I got a big fat mess here.
Well, go ahead and have a seat. You don't need to stand for me. I just want to thank all of you for attending this afternoon. It's so beautiful outside, and we appreciate you all coming indoors. Looking forward to seeing all of you in May when our Congressman Gosar comes to Kingman and speaks to us. Also want to thank Pam Wilkinson and Tony Campbell for having the foresight to do this little legislative pathway, helping us understand our state, our union, and our city and county governments. New Course Steel sponsored the event along with Stinson's Winery, and we want to give them a big thanks also. But most of all, we want to thank our governor, Jan Brewer, for coming to our community and addressing us and helping us understand what's going on legislatively now. Thank you so much.